Okay, we're recording. So when she kept reaching out to me, I was originally thought, that's for her, but there's no way I can make money off of this. But I mean, even though she reached out to me and I said no, I could still see all of her posts. I saw what she was doing. So by the third time she got in touch with me, I thought, I can definitely do that, and it's worth it. Why not try to make money? I can quit whenever I need to quit if it's not worth it. So that was kind of my mindset going into it. If it doesn't work out, I don't have to finish doing it. I can get out at any time, but I might as well take the chance and see how successful I can be. And plus I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life anyway. I was fixing to graduate. So then in that July, I went to a summit. So last summer, I went to Summit in Nashville, and I really had no idea what I was doing. It's hard when you first start coaching to figure out everything. It takes time. And so I went because Kelsey was like, you should go. And as a new coach, you get a discount on your ticket. So I just figured I'll just do it. And I wasn't working then with a full-time job, and I wanted to know more about Beachbody, and that's kind of what changed my business or my mindset. I saw so many people's different stories of how they started, and not just that. When I went, I mean, you see people of all different shapes and sizes that are coaches, but not just coaches, successful, almost top coaches and top coaches that are older than me, and moms of 3 kids or the people. There's no definition of who can be a top coach. So that was really inspiring for me. And then even within our own team, a smaller version, I met successful people on our team. I met, I got to reconnect with Kelsey, and I met Kelly King. That's her upline. And I asked her how much she made, and she gets to stay at home. And she makes enough money that, it was really motivating. I don't have to be a top coach to really make this my full-time career. So at that point, I really started to think, okay, I can do this. I need to be very committed. So it was a big shift in my your mindset. So, sharing your workout, showing people that you're doing it, because that was a big thing for me. I didn't want to share my actual workout videos because, let's be real, those are not very attractive. And plus my fiance makes fun of me all the time about it. So I'm just slapping him, this is what you have to do. And I remember seeing Kelsey's all the time, and I never made fun of him. I was like, damn, I didn't get my workout in today. I guess I should. And it makes people think, even though you think no one liked it or whatever, they're still seeing it. Okay. So I got more committed with that. I got more committed with showing people that I am drinking my Shakeology. I'm doing what I'm telling people to do. I'm not just, trying to make you buy stuff. And then the other thing is just being really consistent. That has changed my business the most. You hear it all the time. You kind of overhear it, but it really is important. So that was one of the biggest things I learned in Summit, was hearing that over and over again. Hearing all these different top coaches, hearing all their background, but the thing that all was the same was consistency. Sharing your story, because everybody's story is different. So that's really important. So then when I got back from Summit, I got a full-time job in August in Charlotte. And so I felt like I was getting on my A game with my business, getting more people to, attracting more of a following. Then I got this full-time job, and it was kind of hard for me to balance everything. But you figure that out as a new coach. You figure out how to balance that, how to balance your other stuff, whether you're getting up earlier, or you set aside business hours to do that kind of stuff. So that's definitely kind of what I did with that. But what really got my business going was in January, I finally committed to inviting, because that was the biggest thing I struggled with. So what I did was I watched a lot of videos on YouTube on how to organize my clientele, basically for Beachbody. So I went through my Facebook friends list, and I kind of, they in your friends list, they tag it out as college, whatever. So I think I picked high school. And I went through all of them, but you put, so I went through and I saw, okay, this person would be a good coach. This person would probably want to be in a challenge group. And I just listed everybody out. And then each day I would go through and invite 5 people. But the thing is, with inviting, you don't just go straight in to be like, hey, do you want to do this challenge group? You got to bring up some back, history. So like with Marla, when I reached out to her, I'm like, how are you doing? Like, I see your mom now, like just stuff like how's softball? Like you reconnect about things that you had in common with them. So we're not just like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach now and I really want you to join my challenge group. Because half the time when they see your consistency with your posts, they're going to ask you first. They're going to say, hey, I see that you're doing this and I really want to lose weight for this summer. I have a wedding to go to in August or whatever it is. Actually have somebody just message me probably like an hour or so ago. And they said, I can read it to you. Said, okay, I have until August 1st to lose 25 pounds or what did I say? Or gain muscle, whatever. But she's coming to me because she knows I do these challenge groups. And I had talked to her in the past about Shakeology samples and stuff like that. And so she's like finally, I guess, kind of committing because I think she wasn't sure about the whole money thing. But people realize after you invite them, they may say no at first, but eventually they will come back. And they're like, okay, I'm not doing diddly squat like I said I was going to do. Let's try this. It might work for me. So that's really how I got started. And when I went through on that Excel sheet, so I did it on my Google Drive. So that way any device, like when I'm at work, I can pull it up. And then when I'm at home on my computer and I don't have to like send it to myself. So I saved it there and I made 3 columns. So the first column is all the names. The second column is the day that I first reached out. So, for Marla, using Marla as an example, if I reached out to her like last week, so like last Monday, I invited her to a challenge group, or there's 3 tags. It's invite coach, invite to a challenge group, or non-Beachbody. So my initial message to somebody would be non-Beachbody because I'm asking you like, hey, how are things going for you? Then we'll kind of go back and forth with some of that, and then either they'll bring it up to me, hey, I saw you're a coach, or I'll say to them, hey, I see that you're doing this, and I was wondering if you'd want to join my challenge group or whatever. Then I change that tag to, okay, I invited them to a challenge group. So then kind of it's in their field. And then the 4th column is I'll just put notes in there. So if they're interested in the 21-day fix, I'll put that in there and kind of like wait for their response. So if they haven't bought it yet, I'm not marking them off my list, or even when they are, I still leave them and I'll highlight them in a certain color. So red is they're not interested right now, but eventually, like I said, they'll come back. So I still do leave them on my list. And I love using Kelsey as my example because she had to reach out to me 3 times before I changed my mind. So that's encouraging. Like you really, people are going to say no. And a lot of the times the first response is no, but you still be like consistent. You still post your stuff on Facebook. And you still reach out, and eventually they're going to be like, hey, what I'm doing right now is not working, or, hey, I really need some extra money, and I noticed, your coaching thing is helping your income. But the biggest thing for me is when I started doing this different charting, and I really started inviting, because that was my biggest downfall as a coach. My income has grown a lot, and I've hit Success Club 5 ever since. Well, starting February, I started hitting it. And another thing to remember, because this is kind of one thing that threw me off in December, I kept telling myself, okay, the new year, I'm going to get back on it. Well, this month, you're inviting, this month affects your next month as well. So, invite as many people as you can. I mean, even if you get the no's, it's okay. But then the next month, it kind of helps you hit Success Club 5 in this month. And it just kind of rolls over. So I didn't hit Success Club in January because I slacked off so bad in December. But then when I really started inviting, I hit Success Club 10 in March, and I still don't even know how I did that. It's just because I was inviting and I was just putting myself out there more. But I invited a ton in January and February, which paid off in March, if that kind of makes sense. So it's just, kind of always looking towards the future. Like if you slack off in 1 month, which does happen, like I've been kind of slack. So when Kelsey asked me to lead this, I was like, I don't feel really qualified right now. But I'm kind of paying for it right now. Like I don't really have as many people interested. But because I did invite so many in the past, like they're still kind of dangling around there. So that's kind of really helping me out. But I'm really, the key is to try to invite 3 people a day to join a challenge group, or if you think somebody would really love to be a coach that's already interested in fitness and health. I always say, you're already doing it. You might as well get paid to join a fun team and stuff. So don't be afraid to just put yourself out there and show people that what you're doing and how it really works for you, and be vulnerable to people. So the biggest thing that helped me, and I don't know how to share, so I can't show you, but was this Excel sheet that I created. So the first tab was the names, and I went through my Facebook and I listed out pretty much everybody. And I like to focus on women for my challenge groups. And I don't do that for all of them, but I have lately because I think it really helps with their being comfortable in the group. So that's kind of one reason I've just been doing that. And then the second column is the date I reached out. So, hey, girl, I saw that you're doing this in August. I just wanted to know how you're doing, blah, blah, blah. So, and then the third column would be, non-Beachbody message, invite challenge group, or invite coach. And then just kind of going through that each day. I picked 3 people to invite or talk to, and then it kind of just helps me stay organized, because if you're looking at your whole Facebook page, it's kind of overwhelming to figure out who am I going to invite without being awkward, So it really kind of helped me figure out, pay attention to someone's posts, watch what they're posting because they're on my list, and then how to connect with them. The biggest thing is just connecting, because you want somebody to be real and understand your goals and where you're coming from. So that's really, it's paid off for me, and it's paying off for me now, because I've had 2 people reach out to me about coaching, which I had invited one, but she came back to me a month later. So again, that paid off. I had another one that I didn't even ask about, but I thought, they saw my post. And then I had another one that's in my challenge group that is a really good leader. So I invited her, and she's really excited about it. So again, it's just, I took a leap, but they were on my list. I asked them, and then I'm slowly kind of bringing them up the list. Challenge group, and then if they're really good leaders, coach. But yeah, that's kind of what really helped me with my business. And like I said, I've hit Success Club 5 ever since I really nailed down this list, and consistency with inviting, posting, and definitely getting that personal development in. And realizing how much your true potential can be, because everybody can do this. And once you realize that you can, it makes a huge difference. Because if you don't think you can, obviously you don't put the work in behind it. But just having your power hours and really setting aside your business hours, when you're going to invite, you can really nail it out in an hour, and you can be really successful with it, and then hopefully make enough money to not have to work 8 to 5 anymore. That's my goal. So do y'all have any questions or anything?
No, good job, Morgan. Good job, Morgan.
Thanks. I'm pretty sure I recorded this. So if there's not any questions, I'm going to stop recording.